Hey guys, welcome back to another week. It's another episode today with Сэм Буллок from New Zealand, the country far, far away from the places I live in, and I think most of the kite racers live in. And it's an exotic place, far away, and I think everyone's really interested to know what it's like to live there, what is the conditions, where do you kite. And also just to quickly introduce Sam, he has got huge sailing background. He's been racing on the kite foil for
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. He's been attending all the major events, and he's just a really nice guy. So let's just jump into it and see what's he's got. Hey Sam.
How's it going?
Good. So let's start quickly. What's your background?
Before I started kiting, I was sailing competitively from like the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I started in Optimists, and we've got quite a few like youth classes, junior classes in New Zealand that are specific to only New Zealand. So I did all of those, and we'd get sort of 100 boats at a national championships or more.
Okay.
So did all of that, and then moved into the youth classes like the 420, 29er, and actually I did the 420 Worlds here back in 2009 at
Really?
Lake Garda. They were sailed down at Riva down the end of the lake.
Okay.
I think I got 7th at that
Nice.
Worlds, which was a really good achievement.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did the place change since that time?
Not really. I mean, we're here a bit earlier in the year, so it's a bit colder than it was that time. But the wind sort of it's still got the same patterns. You just got to hit the cliffs, get that stronger breeze where the wind's compressing, and yeah. So even though the racing was a lot further down the lake, I think there were still pretty similar things to be done to do well in the races.
And when did you first time try kite, and when did you transfer to kite racing, to foiling?
So in 2014, I was sailing a 49er, and I've been campaigning that for 2 years, all around Europe. But we didn't really have enough funds to continue, and we weren't really getting the results that we needed to. So we put that on hold, and I concentrated on uni at the time, and then sort of took kiting up just as something fun to do, because I'd always wanted to do it, but I'd had not enough time because of all the sailing I was doing instead. So that was a really good opportunity to get into it, and learned how to twin tip, and then pretty quickly saw there were a few guys around Auckland, which is the city that I live in.
Is it the capital?
It's not the capital, but it's the largest city.
Large city.
So we've got roughly 1.5 million people there. I did everything I could to get my hands on a foil.
Was it your first foil? Was it the race foil or just the?
It was a race foil. I think it was a KFA Mark II, which was reasonably racy, but it had some stability problems at times.
Okay.
So it was definitely, I think, one of the trickier foils to learn on. But I think I bought it, and I had a go on it for the first time, and I couldn't do it at all, and I thought I'd made the biggest mistake ever, but tried a few more times and started to get the hang of it, and just built from there.
Okay. So did you, when you started, were you on your own, or did you were kiting with those other guys and kind of getting the insights from them?
There was one other guy who lived in the same area that I did, and so I learned a lot from him in the first little while, but it wasn't long before I sort of
overtook him.
Exactly.
And became better.
Yeah. But it was really good. We would get out several times a week, as much as we possibly could, really. So
I've seen lots of videos and pictures of people kiting in New Zealand, and it's always like that's those magic places you can imagine. You had the beautiful blue water, mountains, forests. What is like? Just tell me what kind of spots do you have and what kind of wind do you have in New Zealand most of the time? And,
Yeah.
and do you have to kite in a specific place, or there are places all around the island?
I think, we're completely surrounded by water, and it's a pretty small island. You can drive coast to coast pretty quickly in most places of the country. So yeah, it's a pretty epic kite destination in summary, but the thing about it is that the wind is very changeable, and it can sort of come from any direction at any time. So you have to be pretty quick on your feet to like choose the right beach to go to. But particularly where I live, like I'm on a peninsula, so for foiling it's epic. There's every wind direction, there's a really good spot within 5 minutes.
Amazing.
The thing that I really love about it is that there's no restrictions on kiting. Like there's no beaches we're banned from yet. And you just go do it.
Just go and kite.
And I think the attitude of New Zealanders is very friendly, and everyone's pretty keen to help you if you need it. So while I was learning, I'd put my kite in the water when the wind died, which happens a bit. But I was never in the water for longer than 5 minutes before I like wrapped my kite up, and then suddenly there's a boat.
Lifeguards?
Not lifeguards, just people fishing and offering to help and give me a ride back to the beach.
Is it cold there usually?
In winter, it's like you'd be happy in a 5'4" all winter.
Okay.
And
in summer?
In summer, like, I wear a 2-3.
I've never owned the wetsuit warmer than 4'3" in my life.
But it's not like it's snowing while we're kiting or anything like that. It's cold, but it's not ridiculous.
And then you've been doing events for the last I think as I remember, last 2 years. The major events,
2 or
most
3
of them.
years, yeah.
What's your plan for the future? Are you trying to in the future will you try to qualify for the Olympic Games, or?
I mean, Olympic Games 2024 is still a pretty long way away.
It is. But if you need to start, but if I think if you want to take part, you need to start getting the thoughts around, getting the girls and the team around it, and just
right now, I don't think I'm putting too many definite plans in place, but a big goal of mine is just to grow the fleet in New Zealand. I'm super stoked that at this event, there's Lucas and Justina who are also from New Zealand, who have come along here with me.
They're much younger than you.
Lucas is a few years younger than me. Justina is not.
Okay. How old is Lucas?
Lucas is, I think he just turned 23.
Well, then I think we're talking about because I was talking about the little kid. Maybe he's from Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Okay,
Scott.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Scott.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's like 23. Like, wow.
Yeah. No, New Zealanders, Australians, we're pretty good mates, so we tend to hang out a bit.
Okay. Do you go to Australia often to kite?
I have over the last few years been to.
Are the flights expensive?
Not overly, but you wouldn't want to do it every week or every month. It's sort of, I don't know, $400, $500 return.
It's like to fly from. It's seven euros to fly from here to Malaga. You can find cheap tickets.
Yeah, it's not that cheap.
To Spain. Okay.
Definitely not that cheap.
Okay, so as I understand from what you're saying, you're kind of trying to take an approach of being the leader of the New Zealand kite foil movement.
Definitely.
And maybe in the future becoming a head coach.
Yeah.
And leading the younglings too.
I think Lucas is, this is his first event, international event, and he's now sitting in 21st place, which is incredible, I think. So he's definitely got a really bright future. And Justina, she's actually been, she did the Formula kite racing, like on a Formula board.
Okay.
That was well before I even started kiting. So.
And I think it's well before me, because I think she finished in 2012.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
2013, and I just started at the end of 2013. So
yeah.
even way before us.
Exactly.
And why did she came back to foil?
Well, she was actually racing RSXs before that, and then that whole Olympic thing that changed to kiteboarding.
Yeah.
Windsurfing was out, so she changed to kiteboarding, but then it got removed 6 months later or something like that. So she went really hard, but then it got swept underneath her again. So she actually has started a family. She's got 2 young kids. They're under 4 years
So now
old.
she's racing back again with
Yeah,
2 kids.
now it's back into it, and the kids are a little bit older than, so she doesn't need to be with them all the time. I think it's probably pretty hard for her to be away for 2 weeks, but she's fully into the racing, and it's really good.
That's amazing. And do you have any support from New Zealand Sailing Federation, or are they friendly to the kitesurfing? What's the deal with them?
I think since the decision for it to be put into the 2024 Olympics, they're definitely paying more attention to us. They're still waiting for the final equipment selection decision
It's
to
gonna
be
be in
made.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty fast. So
Okay, I think when this podcast is gonna go live, the decision actually is gonna be made. I'm pretty much sure it's gonna be 100% the formula.
yeah, I don't see any other thing it could be.
Yes.
So yeah, once that gets sorted, I think there will be a lot more support available in New Zealand. Yeah.
Amazing. And let's just put your Instagram really quick here to use one.
Sam B Bullock, I think it is. I'm not super avid
But we're gonna
Instagrammer.
put it there. Okay. And also, we're also going to. I'm also going to tag you on Facebook. Is there any sponsors you would like to give credits?
Oh, absolutely. Axis Kiteboarding. I've been a part of Axis for almost the entire time I've been kiteboarding, which is really cool. And Ozo New Zealand.
Also New Zealand.
Yeah, hooking me up with kites.
Yes. So I know that you've been developing, right, for the Axis, some stuff.
Yeah, I was very, very much involved with. They released a carbon race foil, which was it was not really, it's not up to the standard that we've got now with the mic slabs and everything else. But that was also the time that I was learning how to foil, so it was a very good relationship where I got a free foil to use and got a lot better on it. And they got something out of it too. But I've also been designing boards for them. And helped do a lot of prototyping for their surf foils.
Amazing.
Sup foils. But yeah, the job that I was working for at the time, that job, the business was doing a lot of the prototyping for them. But I've actually changed jobs since then, so I've been much less involved since then, since that happened.
Anyway, thanks to them for the great support. For you. And we had a relay team 2 days ago, I guess a day ago. How do you feel about this format? What would be your critiques and maybe suggestions for the future?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it actually, more than I was expecting. So that was good. I think that my biggest trouble with it was that the waiting between the races was quite long.
Too long?
Yeah, definitely too long.
So maybe we need to have just one fleet that races constantly?
Yeah. Well, I was wondering maybe one fleet, or perhaps you could have seeded fleets, which then you'd stay in a group for 3 or 4 races or whatever. And then after that, at many races, you come in, get reseeded, or I don't know. But yeah, I think some way to reduce the time waiting would be really good. Another thing that I wasn't really clear to me because I was on the water, but I think how we had a lot of boats or a lot of kites hanging around the start line.
And the changing area?
In the changing area while the others were racing. For spectators on the shore, it was
really confusing.
Totally.
Yes, so maybe these things need to be clarified. But overall, it was a success. Do you agree?
Definitely a success, yeah.
And then I think this format is going to go well into the future.
Yeah.
The both teams put the effort together.
Yeah.
So when because you said you kind of started on your own, and you were getting some hints and tips from the guys who knew how to kite, but then at some point you overtook them and you had to learn on your own and just get those small little details how to be as good as the gold fleet at the World Cup. What would be your advice to the guys who's learning how to, let's say, not to foil, but at the level where they learn transitions and they learn to go upwind, downwind fast? What would be the key aspects they should focus on to get better quicker?
Well, I think
what helped you?
I think the reason that I sort of picked it up quickly was that I'd come from this very high performance sailing background, and so not because I knew how to sail, but I think the most important thing was that I had the mindset of what you like, the training that you needed to put in to really get results. And I think the biggest thing is just time on the water.
Time on the water.
Definitely.
Just hours grinding the craft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like all the maneuvers and even just speed, it comes down to just having your body so in tune with the muscle memory that you need to have, and you only get that by just putting in the hours.
Okay. Definitely, I think the hours is really important, because that's basically in every sport, you need to practice a lot to be good.
Yeah.
And then definitely hours.
Yeah. I think like people need certain tips on how to improve their tacks or how to improve their jibes, but that's pretty personal to the individual. But in general, just getting on the water more.
At what level should you be concerned with going to an events and compete against others?
I think as soon as you think you're ready for it, as soon as you're confident enough to be around other kiters and get close to people, then you should give it a go for sure. But I know in New Zealand a lot of people are nervous about that.
Okay.
But, there's a lot of free riders who just go around, mow the lawns almost, but they're pretty hesitant to get on a race course.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're definitely working on it to try and bring more of those people into it.
Okay. Sam, we're gonna kind of finish it up here. There's the camera. Look into it and say something. Inspirational thought. Trying to get a new sponsorship. Ordering future pizza, or maybe a reminder to yourself in 10 years. Literally anything. Just speak the truth.
I'm just so stoked that the sport exists now. Like, it's just so much fun and such an awesome feeling. So I'm just so happy to have found it and be competing in it. So I don't know.
Well, that's amazing. Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. Sam, thank you for being here. We're posting weekly, every Wednesday. So next Wednesday, there's a new episode. Thank you guys for watching. See you next Wednesday. Bye.
See you later.